my pleasure to welcome one of my other ambassadors, Anidita, who will be leading our coding session. For those of you who are watching the recording, we will have an interview halfway through the coding session. So Anidita is going to start us off with some coding foundations, and then we're going to welcome our second interview. So Anidita, I'm going to pass it off to you now.
Thanks, Kylie. Hi, Hackergals. My name is Anidita, and I am thrilled to be here with you today for our beginner coding session. Before we begin, let's go over how you can submit your coding project once it is completed.
Hi, Hackergals, and welcome to How to Submit Your Coding Project for Hackergal Day 2023. Let's get started. For step 1, you're going to rename your project as follows: Hackergal Day 2023 first name last name initial the name of the webinar you attended. The name of the event you attended should be one of the following: the beginner webinar, webinar codage, advanced webinar. For example, Hackergal Day 2023 Christelle B webinar codage. For step 2, you're going to go to your project and download it by selecting the yellow download button on the right of the screen, as indicated in the picture. For step 3, you're going to join the Hackergal Day 2023 Lynx Coding Club by copying the following link to your URL. If you need to pause the screen at this moment to write down the link and add it to your URL, please do so now. For step 4, you're going to check if you are in the right Lynx Coding Club by selecting your name on the top right corner of the Lynx homepage and look at the drop-down menu. You will see the club name, Hackergal Day 2023, at the top. Choose the file you have already downloaded by selecting the yellow Select File button. Add your project title and preview image logo. For step 7, under the Public Folder section, select the appropriate webinar folder name to submit your project for your chance to win a prize. For step 8, remember to uncheck the private checkbox before saving your project so the Hackergal team can see your amazing project. Select the yellow Save button at the bottom of the page. Step 9, your project will automatically open in edit mode, so just exit out of your project by clicking on the second button on the bottom left under the Gear Settings button, indicated here. For our last and final step, number 10, check if your project is in the correct folder by selecting All Projects in the top left. Then click on the folder name you chose in step 7, and your project should be there. Congratulations! Your project has now been uploaded to the Hackergal Day Coding Club. Please note that all projects will be reviewed by the Hackergal team, and winners will be announced in January 2024. Thanks for listening, and good luck and happy coding, Hackergals! For
All right, now let's go over how to create a project on Lynx.
We're just going to share before Anidita continues how to a little intro on how to create your project on Lynx using this video here.
Hello learners! Today I will show you how to create your own permanent account on the Lynx coding platform. You will only need to do these steps once, so please follow these instructions carefully. When you first arrive on the Lynx website at lynxcoding.club, you will see Log in Register in the top right corner. In order to sign in, you can use one of the third-party accounts that Lynx has to offer. In this tutorial, I will be signing in with Google, but if you aren't sure which third-party account to use, please ask your facilitator, parent, or guardian. After you create an account and sign in, you should be able to see your name at the top right corner of the website. If you see your name, this means you successfully signed in. Now, we will convert your account from a trial subscription to an individual subscription. To do this, click on your name, then under the drop-down menu, select Profile. When you see this Profile Edit page, look on the left side. You will see that the subscription type is Trial. Click on the yellow Change button. This will bring you to the subscription page. Under the Individual section, change your subscription type by clicking Select. Individual accounts for facilitators and learners living in Canada are free thanks to a subsidy given to us by the Government of Canada. The price indicated in the table above does not apply to you. You will then be asked to provide limited information to certify you are indeed living in Canada. Depending on how you are signing up for your account, you can use your organization's postal code, your school's postal code, or your at-home learning postal code. The following sections ask for your gender and how you are joining this project. Please select Hackergal. Don't forget to click the small box to certify that you are a Canadian resident. Finally, select Create a free account for Canadians. An announcement box will pop up saying that you have successfully created your account. You are now subscribed permanently. Press OK. Now you can see that your subscription type is Individual. Click the Lynx logo to return to the home page. After you change your subscription type, the next step is to join a custom organization page. This process will be different depending if you are signing in with a school or organization or if you are joining Hackergal as an at-home learner. Learners that signed up with a school or organization will receive an invitation link from their facilitator. At-home learners will receive the invitation link from an announcement on the Hackergal Hub. This invitation link is unique to each organization and allows learners to join a collaborative club page on Lynx. Once you receive the link, you need to copy and paste it into your browser, like this. Then click Enter on your keyboard. Now you will see your custom URL page. Good work! Your club name is also included in the drop-down menu underneath your name. Whenever you log into your Lynx account, make sure you're coding on your club page. You can always click your club name in the drop-down menu so you can easily create and save your projects within your club. Now that you have your own individual Lynx account, you can save all your coding projects and share them in your collaborative club page. One last tip. Remember to bookmark this page so it's easy to find in the future. That's all for now. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.
Today, we are going to be introducing the Lynx platform. What is Lynx coding? Lynx coding is a text-based coding funded for unlimited free use in Canada by the federal government. It originates from the same programming language used in Scratch, which is Logo. Designed by Canadians who worked with the father of educational computing, Dr. Seymour Papert of the MIT Media Lab, for more than 25 years designing and publishing coding languages for K-12 students. It supports English, French, Anishinaabe, and Mi'kmaq. It offers built-in programmable events, ready-to-use interactive objects, and Canadian-themed clip art. For today's session, we will be learning the basics of Lynx coding, including pages, buttons, clip art, music, and sound. This project that we will be creating today is called Meet the Developer. We are going to walk through Janet's project right now. She includes a page for her About Me, her hobbies, and also her inspiration. As you can see, Janet has added lots of clip arts and animations to make her project really pop. To create your project, let's click on My Projects first, and then click this yellow button which says Create. It'll open up to a project that looks pretty much like this. To change the font size, click on the gear setting if you want to make it bigger or smaller. And if you'd like to have autocomplete or learner mode on, please do so. Okay, let's rename our project. So to rename our project, it says My Project at the very top. If you click on that, you should be able to change your project. I'll name this Meet the Developer since that is the project that I will be creating. Okay. Now, as you can see, there's a little dot here that appeared next to this button. What is this button? This button is actually the save button because on Lynx, it doesn't automatically save your project. I know, mind-blowing. You need to manually save it or you will lose some of your work. So let's save it now. Now our title has been saved. This area right here with your turtle is called a work area. It has the background and a turtle right on it. This is the default. It will have one turtle in the middle of the screen. This right here is the procedures pane. It's where all of your procedures will show up, all of your code will be, and this button here will represent the procedures pane. This down here is called the command center. This is where it's like a testing ground for our code, basically. It's where we can put in code that needs to be executed right away. Why don't we try a command right now? Let's try changing the background of the work area. The command for this would be set background, which is right here, set BG. If I click on it, it'll auto-complete. As you can see, when I hover over this, it gives like a definition of what set BG is, and it also gives an example. So let's type in that set BG 18. The number here is called an input. This will basically change the outcome of what our command is doing. For our command, it's going to change the color. So 18 is actually the color. Let's see what color it is right now. Okay, it's red. But what if I want it to be a different shade of red? But I don't know what the color chart looks like. Let's click on the help widget and let's search up the color chart. Let's go into resource materials, and at the bottom here you can see Lynx color chart. If you click on it, you can see this. It has a list of all the colors on Lynx from 0 through 139. So at the bottom, you can also see that there are 16 colors that are considered basic. That means that these numbers right next to the words, instead of using the number, you can use that word, but you have to use it in between these little apostrophes. So let's do that now. I want it to be red, right? Let's do red. Okay, it's brighter now. Let's try another color. Does anyone have a suggestion for what color I should use? You can just put it in the chat if you do. Pink, okay. Let's see what color pink is. Pink is 135. I'll use the number for this. 135. Now it's pink. Okay, now let's say we want to add a turtle. You see this plus button right underneath the saving button? If you click on it, a drop-down menu will appear. Click on turtle and, oh, it doesn't look like anything happened though. But wait, if you click on top of the turtle and drag it, just drop it anywhere, you have another turtle. What Lynx does is it will add a turtle on 0, 0. That is the coordinate right here. So if you already have a turtle here, it'll just appear right on top of the turtle that you had there originally. So this is our second turtle, this is our first one. Now let's see what this button does. This button is called the undo button. Basically what it does, it'll undo the last command that was done in the command center, which for us was set background 135, I believe. Now let's click on it. It goes back, but our turtle also disappeared. Why is that? Because before we changed the background to set BG, there was only one turtle here. So it'll go back to what it had beforehand instead of keeping that turtle there. Now, do you remember how Janet's project had multiple pages? We're also going to add another page in our project. But first, how many pages do we actually have in our project? To see this, there's this button down here. It looks kind of like a sideways tree. If you click on it, you can see the pages in here. Now this place is called the page tree. If you click on the page 1 right here, it'll be highlighted and you can click edit to change the name of the page. I'll call this the intro page. So I'll just call it intro. Try not to have spaces in when you're naming something because Lynx tends to not recognize those spaces. Oh, there's also an arrow here. If you click on this, you can see all of the objects, the turtles, the text on it, the buttons on it. Right now we only have one turtle, so we have T1. That's the name of our turtle right now. So let's add another page. You see this plus button again? We're gonna click on this and drop-down menu will open and we can click on page. Now we're on page. This is called page 1. It goes to the default. It'll go page 1, page 2, and keep going. So if we click on page 1, we can edit this again and rename it. This is called the dialog box, by the way. I'll rename this to hobbies for now. Hobbies. Now, as you can see, Lynx alphabetically organizes this, but it also goes numerically in order. It goes numerically first, though. So if I was to put like 2 at the front and 1 at the front of this, the order would change. Now let's go to the procedures pane. I want to add a button to go from this page, the first page, to the second page. So let's add a button. We'll use the plus button and click on button in the drop-down menu. Now, if you click on the box, you can move it around by dragging and dropping like you did with your turtle. There's also this little arrow in the bottom right corner. If you click on this, you can make it bigger, longer, in whichever direction you want. And if you right-click on this, you can open the dialog box of the button and change the label from nothing to whatever it is that you'd like. For me, I'll do hobbies. Apply. There's also a trash button down here if you do want to delete the button. Now, to make a procedure, we always start with the word to, and then we give our procedure a title. We'll call this hobbies page, _page, and click enter. This is going to go to our hobbies page. To make it go to the hobbies page, we need to remember the title of our page, which I actually cannot remember. Oh, right. Okay. It's 2 hobbies. You can click on the page tree to remember this. 2 hobbies. Okay. And then you always end with the word end. Right-click on the button to attach it. And then you see there's on click and a drop-down right here. Click on hobbies _page or whatever it is that you named your procedure. Click apply. Now if we click on this, it'll go to the next page. Let's also make another button to go back to the intro. Let's add another button by clicking the plus and drag this down here. I'll title this back. Okay, now let's make a procedure to our main page. 1 intro. End. Now, you see how I have back up here? Back is actually a command that's defined in Lynx. So I can't actually use that as a title. So let's just go back, click. And I'll link this to my project, to my button. Now if I click on it, it'll go back. Now what would have happened if I actually did leave it as back? First off, let me just change. Oh, okay. It's already here. It's saying that back is already used. I don't know how to back underscore click. So let's go back to what it was before. So Lynx will always put those comments down in the command center if you do have an error.
Thank you so much, Anidita. Just a quick break to bring you the secret word challenge. So I'm just reminding you all to collect all 4 secret words revealed in our Hackergal Day promotional video and at each live event. So if you were just at the live kickoff, you heard the secret word there. Now we're going to hear the secret word from our first coding seminar, which is today, for your chance to win a Polaroid camera bundle. So make sure you write this down. Our secret word number 3 is firewall. Firewall. Make sure you write that down. Okay, Anidita, back to you for more coding.
And here we go. This time, let's add clip art. So there's actually a couple ways to add clip art. This is called the clip art pane. This is the button for it. It's basically a house. And you can see all these little boxes. They all have a little number in the left corner. But let's add some sample clip art from Lynx. Click on the plus button at the very bottom of the dropdown. You'll see sample clip art. If you click on it, it'll open another dropdown menu, and you can choose one of these options. I'll choose buildings, let's say. It opens up some clip art for buildings. It has a couple more for some other ones, a couple less for buildings, but pretty much they have really good clip art. But let's say I want like clip art from somewhere else, like my own clip art. We can always add that. If you click on one of the boxes, let's click number 9 and click the plus sign. You can download it or you can add a link. So I want to download it from one of my favorite websites, Flat Icon. This is Flat Icon. I can search for a robot maybe. I actually like robots a lot because they're very cute. Let's see. Oh, this one's actually very adorable. I'm going to download this one. And I'll save it as a PNG. Okay. Okay. Now that I've downloaded it, I can click on select. And then I'll click on whatever it was that I named it to or renamed it to. And then click create. Now I have an adorable little AI robot. Let's say I want to change this turtle's shape to be the AI robot. I'll click on the turtle and then I'll do set shape. That is the command to change the shape of the turtle. Or you could get rid of APE and it'll do the same thing. Set SH does the same thing as set shape. Now we have to put an input number in this. Remember those numbers in the bottom left? Number 9 is the AI robot. I would put that in if I wanted to change the shape of my turtle. Okay, it's huge. Let me just tell you what the command to go back to the turtle is before we go on to changing the size. The original turtle would actually be set shape 0 because it doesn't have a number for the boxes. So if you ever want to change it back to the turtle, set shape 0. Okay, now let's change the size of the robot because it is ginormous. So right now, the default of the turtle is 40. The highest it can go is 160, whereas the lowest size it can go for visibility is 5. So we can go set size. We want it to be smaller. So right now it's 40. Let's try 20. Okay, now it looks very nice. Very small. Not too small though. I can click and drag it wherever I want it to go. So let's just put it here. Okay, now before I move on, let's make sure to save our project in between. I like to do this at little intervals. Okay, we have our robot, we have clip art, we have our buttons. Let's add some text this time. Click on the plus button and then click on text. Now we have our text box. This time, moving the text box will not be the same as moving our buttons, because if you can see, I cannot actually drag it just by going like this. I have to click on the title of the text box at the very bottom, and then I can move it. Now, these options up here are called the formatting options. I can switch from Arial, the font, to literally any of these. I'll do Courier New. I can make the font size huge. I can make it really small. I like huge actually. I'm gonna keep it that way. I can bold, I can italicize, I can change the color of the font if I want to. Let's go for green, the complementary color of red. And I'll just put my name on this because this is my Meet the Developer. And I can change the size of the text box with what we did with the button with the little arrow in the bottom right. Now, let's say I want to make the text box transparent. If I right click on it, it'll open the dialog box of the text box. If I click on transparent, the text box won't show, nor will the name. But what if I want it to show back up again? My text is right here. I know where it is. I can just right click here and then undo transparency, which is fine. And if I want to get rid of the text box, the trash button's in the bottom corner. I can click on that at any time. Now, what if I wanted to play sound? Let's download the sound first. So I use Pixabay for sound effects. Let's see, what's a sound effect that you guys like birds chirping or rain? Rain? Okay. Rain sound. Let's see. We'll go with like a shorter one. Let's see this one. Okay, I'll download this and save it. Okay, now to add sound, if you guessed, click on the plus button. You are very right. And down here is sound. If I click on sound, click select, I can choose what I downloaded. Or I can paste a URL in the box up here and click create. Now that is a very long name. Let me just change it. I right click on this to open the dialog box like anything else, and I'll call this rain. To move it, just click on the title like we did with the text box. If you click on the music note, it'll play the sound. Click on it again to stop it from playing the sound. Now, the command to play it, because we don't want to have to click on it all the time, we want to be able to click on to have a procedure do this as well. Click play launch, type launch, and then in square brackets, you're going to write down the title of your sound, which for me would be rain. Now it's playing. But what if I want to stop it? Let's do cancel. As you can see, it's pretty similar. Cancel is pretty similar to launch. You just type cancel instead of launch and it'll stop the sound. Okay, let's make procedures for this. We'll call this to play sound. Launch, rain, end. And we'll also make one to stop the sound. Okay, now let's make buttons to attach them to. Remember to click on the plus button for this. And we'll just move this over a tad bit. Play. And then also one for stopping sound. And stop. Okay, now we can play it, and we can also stop it. But there's one last thing that you need to know. How do you change the volume? Set volume. And then you also do use the name of the sound for this. But now you also have an input number. You type in a number to make it quieter. Let's play it. Okay, now it's quieter. We can also make it louder, but not too loud. Don't want to lose my ears. Okay, now you can also make it louder. And to stop it. Okay. Finally, what you need to do is save your project. Don't forget to save your project. Don't lose your code.
Thank you so much, Anidita. That was amazing. I hope all of you follow along really well to that. There will be a recording of that coding session available if you ever want to look back on those skills. We also have the Hackergal Hub, where you can learn more beginner lessons on our Launchpad, as well as on our Explore page, which has mini one-off lessons too. Now I'm going to share my screen with you all, and I have the pleasure of introducing our second speaker for the day, Raylene, who is Vice President of Information Services at CC Energy. And I'm excited to also welcome to the stage Sadie, who's one of our first-year ambassadors, who will be conducting the interview. Welcome you both to our Hackergal Day stage.
Thank you, Kylie.
So, Raylene, can you tell us what industry you work in?
Yes, I can. So I work in the energy industry. We are a company, team of over 7,000 energy problem solvers. And we work to move, generate, and store energy that the energy that North America relies on a daily basis.
What is the best part of your job and or working in STEAM?
I think the best part of my job, Sadie, is just that I get to be a part of some amazing teams and working with some amazing people, really smart people, and also with technology. And so I get to be at the forefront of some of the amazing advancements that are happening right now in the industry around AI and generative AI. So just some really exciting, cool tech that I get to play with and work with every day.
What motivated you to go into STEAM?
You know, I would say from a very young age, I always had a love for math and a curiosity around technology. And more importantly, it just came fairly easily to me. So I was quite good at math in school, in university. It was just something that I could naturally do. And so that made it easier for me to go into technology specifically. And I think, you know, the motivation was really that I enjoyed it and I wanted to keep doing something that I enjoyed.
Did you have any role models that you looked up to when you were younger?
I did. So my older sister, she studied engineering. She is an industrial engineer, and I always looked up to her. She was 4 years older than me, and I thought if she could be in this, you know, male-dominated scientific field, so can I. So she was really a great role model for me when I was younger.
Yeah, and it's really great to have a role model that's a girl in STEAM. It's really amazing. What is your educational background?
My educational background, so I have a degree in computational mathematics, which is really just a combination of computer science and math from a university in Nova Scotia. It's called St. Francis Xavier University in a small town called Antigonish. And that is where I grew up. And I spent the majority of, well, all of my childhood and my schooling years were in Nova Scotia. And that's my educational background.
Were you interested in STEAM when you were younger, or was it something you grew into?
Oh my goodness. So I, from a very young age, was fascinated with video games. And video games, let me tell y'all, that back then, many, many years ago, over 40 years ago, they weren't as cool as they are today. But to me, they were fascinating. And my family, we got our first video game console when I was probably like 5 or 6 years old, and it was an Atari at the time, and I played it for hours with my brothers. So I think, you know, looking back to that very young age, I think it was something that I was fascinated by and very interested in, even from a very young age.
What skills or qualities do you believe are essential for success in STEAM, and how have you cultivated them in your own career?
Oh, that's a great question. So I think that in technology specifically, you need to have a curiosity. So you need to be curious around what tech can do, what's changing in technology, what are the new things coming out, and how are they going to work, and how can I apply them to my job and my industry. So I think that is critical. And I also think just a desire to learn, always having that continuous learning mindset and always wanting to learn new things is especially important with STEAM when you think about tech, engineering, science, math, like things keep moving. So we need to want to keep learning. And for me, I think that I've always believed in my job that there's got to be a better way, a different way. So I've always sort of taken that curiosity and trying to challenge the status quo and say, how can we do things differently that are just a little bit better than how we did them before? And so I think that would be my curiosity side of how I've sort of developed that in my career. And then that desire to learn, I think just trying to keep up on the, you know, technology changes, especially with what's happening out there now in industry, has been, you know, a sort of a learning component for me. And then I think, you know, once the other important component maybe is, you know, being able to accept change. So that and accepting it is super important as well.
How can tech help our world take action about cyberheroes securing our future?
So by using technology, especially such as AI, I believe that you know, kids today can really create real world scenarios that can challenge them and help them think differently. And I think that it provides sort of that instant feedback and helps to adapt at a young age and build problem solving skills. And so I think because of all those things, if we're learning about technology at a young age and we're preparing, you know, young girls or, you know, students for future career opportunities, just because they can understand the potential of technology, they can become those, you know, cyber heroes that we're looking for them to become.
What do you think our cyberheroes can do to protect themselves and others online?
So I think that, you know, maybe I'll talk a little bit about social engineering. So it's not just for grown-ups, even if, you know, kids maybe don't have a cell phone yet. I know a lot do. My kids sure do. They've had them for quite some time just from a safety perspective. Kids can still be targeted through video games, many different ways that, you know, we call them the bad guys here at work. The bad guys are trying to, you know, steal our information or whatnot. And kids are really tech savvy. I know that because my son, he knows more than me about technology. But we need to teach kids how to be safe online. And that is just so important for us to protect ourselves and others online. And so what I would say, maybe a few tips and tricks, know who you are sharing your profile with. If you are on some social media platforms, make sure that is it a friend? Do I really know this person? Or is it a friend of a friend? Use a fake name or photo where possible. We actually recommend that at work. Just so that you can't be traced or tracked, or your personal information can't be stolen. And never ever participate in any questionnaires about what's your favorite vacation spot, or what's your favorite movie. Those are attempts to get your information from you and try to engineer your passwords and stuff. So that those are things that we want to stay away from. And just know that cyber risks are real, right? So we want our cyber heroes to know that these risks are real, and we need to find ways, and there are ways to proactively identify threats. So learn to think critically about what we're seeing, and trust but verify, and look out for each other, I think would be my final advice on this question.
Why do you think that we need more girls in tech and or STEAM?
Well, I think girls bring a unique perspective and ideas. And the more ideas we have in tech, the faster it's going to advance. And I will say that throughout my career being in technology, I have mainly worked with teams of men. Even today, my team that works for me, it's all men. And so, we need to have that diversity in our thought and being able to bring those unique perspectives. And I think more girls in STEM will help us do that. So I really hope we can get our numbers up.
Can you share a pivotal moment or a project in your STEAM career that has influenced your professional path?
Yes, I can. So I had a project, I think it was a little over 5 years ago, and it required me to deliver some technology to my company. It was really important technology. And the timeline that was set out for me, nobody had ever done it in that short of a timeline before. But my leader at the time, he wanted me to do it and do it well and do it quickly. And this was significant for me because I actually did it. I did it in I think it was 3 to 4 months that they gave me to deliver. And at that point, I really started to truly believe if I put my mind to something, I can do it. I can get it done. And that was a really important moment for me in my career. And it actually helped me get noticed as a professional in the tech industry, as someone who could really deliver results and knew how to implement technology in an organization. So that was a really important moment. And I think that's why, sorry, I'm answering your second question too, Sadie. I think that's why it was so significant for me.
Wow, Raylene, that's really awesome. So, next question. As technology continues to advance, what trends or developments in STEAM are you most excited about?
And it's been said a couple times already through in this interview today, but I'm most excited about AI. So I've been in the tech industry for over 20 years, and the pace at which AI is advancing is like nothing I've ever seen before in my career. So most excited definitely about AI.
What role do you believe educators play in motivating girls to pursue careers in STEAM, and what can they do to inspire the next generation of women in science?
Wow. So first of all, I would say, thank you to all the educators out there. They have, such an important job in our society, and not an easy job. They have to put a lot of effort into what they do on a daily basis. And a couple of the things that I think they can do to really motivate girls to pursue careers in STEAM is, encourage that growth mindset. So if educators are sharing messages with girls that, to have that growth mindset, believe in your abilities, believe in your intelligence, like you can develop better and better skills if you're dedicated and you work hard. I know I had like many teachers along the way that provided me that encouragement, and I think it really helped. And so I would think that that's one thing, and maybe I'll just mention a couple other things that, building a network. So, if educators can encourage their students to build a network with other kids who have, or other girls who have similar interests, like tech clubs or communities or professional organizations, that can really open up opportunities for internships or jobs that, girls can get into. And I think that will just further their motivation. And I would say even to this day, 20 plus years into my career, building that network for career success is still critical and important for me. I also think that if educators could encourage girls to not be afraid to fail. So when my kids were in school, in elementary school, and they're in high school now, but they used to tell me all the time, Mom, mistakes are places to learn. And at work here in my environment, we also embrace that failure is a part of learning. So don't be discouraged. Like, try something. You might make a mistake. You might not be able to build the code that you want it to build, or maybe it has an error in it or an issue, but that's okay. So you just use that experience and you move on and you grow and you develop, right? And then finally, I would say that if educators can really teach girls to advocate for themselves. So I see this a lot in my role at TC Energy, where girls don't necessarily always stick up for themselves and they don't always believe in themselves as much as they should. And it's something that I've had to work on even over the years, is to kind of building that confidence and that advocating for myself. No, I am good. I can do this. I can, keep up with technology. So really encouraging girls to speak up for your ideas and your contributions, and don't be afraid to put yourself out there. So that would be my my belief on educators and how they can motivate girls.
What advice would you give to young people interested in pursuing a career in STEAM, or to your younger self?
Yeah, so this is another great question. I think, and we've talked about this a little bit already today, Sadie, but staying curious. So technology is constantly evolving, and we talked about AI earlier and how it's evolving at such a rapid pace. So really important to stay up to date with the latest trends and the development. So kind of staying curious, I think, is really critical. I think we just talked about this as well. Believe in yourself. So don't let any stereotypes or misconceptions get you down about tech industry or being a female or a girl in a tech industry. You have so much potential. You have as much potential and more than anybody else. So just have that confidence in your abilities. That's so critical. And remember, it's okay to be different, right? So sometimes maybe if tech isn't, or STEAM isn't as popular, like a certain area that you want to go into, maybe it's not the cool thing at the moment. That's okay, because you can bring your unique perspective and you can be valuable. And finally, maybe I would just say that a career in technology, from my experience, is incredibly rewarding and exciting. And if you kind of just stay persistent, you continue to learn, you challenge the status quo, and don't let anything hold you back, I think that, that's a bit of the advice that I would give to the young people out there interested.
Thank you, Raylene. Your stories were really amazing. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you both so much. That was so inspiring, and it was so nice to hear so many great quotes. Like, one that really stuck with me was, mistakes are a place to learn. And I think that has a lot to do with the engineering design process too. We always are improving and always moving forward. And I think that's so great. So thank you so much, Raylene. We're going to just start our wrap-up process of today's session. So we want to thank you all for joining. I do want to reiterate our secret word challenge one more time. So remember to select all 4 secret words revealed in our Hackergal Day promo video, the kickoff event, and each live event for a chance to win a Polaroid camera bundle. And remember, today's secret word was firewall. A couple reminders before we get going today. and close up, we want to thank you to our sponsors for making this event possible. We want you to share your favorite moments about Hackergal Day on our social media at the Hackergals. Add to our Padlet with any questions that you have. There are some answers already on there. Remember to submit your coding project to win one of our amazing prizes and submit your post survey in order to win. We also want to remind you that tomorrow we have our advanced coding webinar, which is the continuation of today's. So if you're interested in learning some more coding and some more stuff, I will actually be teaching that session tomorrow, which is very exciting, from 1 to 3:30 tomorrow. If you're interested in that, please check the Eventbrite for details. And we just want to say a huge thank you to our speakers, our ambassadors, and our Hackergal team members, and of course you, our participants. We hope to see you all at our 2024 hackathon. It's May 27th to May 31st this year, 2024. Thank you all, and goodbye, everyone.